This one's for the culture. Me and wifey in the room thinking of a master plan, thinking how we can influence the culture from where we stand. Knowing that our steps are ordered by the master's hand, still 10 toes down, we ain't switching up the stance. The mission of this music ain't just to make them dance, trying to tell them about the rock.
And welcome to episode 57 of The Bond Chronicles. If you've been watching us here over the last couple of days, you know that we have been on the road at Coachella. I'm still in the mood here. VIP. I don't know if you can see that. Zoom in if you can. We were and still are and forever will be VIPs at Coachella. So it was a fun time. I'm blessed to be here with my host,
Mrs. Bond Chronicles.
And she's wearing a limited edition Coachella exclusive jacket that we claimed because we spent a lot of money at Adidas and they love us. And they're
Ivy
cool.
Park, man.
Ivy Park did it. Kanye did it for me. I got a 1 in 100. So that might be the hard part in getting a potential replacement. A sweater from Sean Witherspoon, who was actually there. Handing them out. Somehow missed that photo op. But nonetheless, had a great time, and we'll definitely get into all of that. So put your seatbelts on. We're going to run through this because there was a ton of stuff to get through. But we also want to make sure that we really articulate our experience. One, for you, but two, so that I can relive my time. We started off. We flew out of DC and we landed in Denver. And as great travelers always do, you wait till the last minute to check the weather. And so coming from DC, heading to Coachella, which is Southern California, you packed for Coachella.
Yeah.
What we did not pack for was Denver, which we found out early that morning was going to be about 40 degrees. What's 40 degrees? 40 degrees in Denver is miserable. So
way different from 40 degrees in DC.
Very different. I was in shorts and a light jacket, a denim jacket, not nearly enough. And we, of course, decided because of the long layover, we are going to go out because that's what we do. The Bonds chronicle our journeys. See what I did there. And in that, we like to experience new things. So we went out. City was pretty quiet, decent. And then we wanted to find a restaurant. Do we intend to find a restaurant?
I knew where I was going.
When we left the airport, we knew we were going to find that restaurant?
When we left the airport, I knew that either we were going to go to that restaurant or we were going to go to the other restaurant, the Atomic Cowboy or something like that. Because I'd looked up the places from Diners, Dives, and Drives to see if... Well, I knew there were some in Denver. Mm-hmm. So I just picked a few off of the list and we were going to one of them. I just didn't know which one at the time when we left the airport.
Gotcha. So given that we didn't know which one we were going to go to, we had no direction. So we took this train. I guess it's a train.
It's like their metro.
Okay, yeah, their metro downtown, and figured it out. We witnessed some woman losing it. From what I understand, is apparently a man might have tried to come in the bathroom or something. Kind of wild. So that was you hear the lady that was screaming in the Central Station?
No.
Where was you at?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that's why she was screaming.
Yeah, apparently some dude came over and was telling his family, and I was listening.
No.
Well, that's what I do. You never know when a terror threat could be on the loose.
Oh, jeez.
Aurora, Colorado had an incident a long time ago watching a Batman movie. But yeah, so we decided let's go out. And it's one thing, and this was the theme of our return, the theme of Coachella, and the theme of Denver is wind. Wind changes everything because in every location, it wasn't that bad when the wind wasn't blowing. The problem is the wind was always blowing. So it started snowing as we were walking. And again, I think I did put on pants.
You did.
I did put on pants. I put on some pants. But I had a denim jacket, which was not nearly enough. It had a bunch of holes and rips in it because it was cool, but it was not for the weather. And we walked around. And what are your thoughts on Denver?
It's not a city that I'm like in an eager rush to get back to. I saw a few cool things. It seems to have a really cool vibe, but the weather, it's not for me. If you can get snow until June, July of the year, that's never going to be a place that I frequently visit. We were only there for a few hours. The few hours we were there, we spent at the restaurant eating. The food was really, really good.
Who's in the restaurant?
Sam's number 3.
Sam's number 3.
Yeah.
They're not paying us for this, but they can if they want.
But it was really good. The food was great. And the menu was huge. There was so much stuff on it. But Denver was all right.
So I agree. I expected different. Colorado's, I think, like the first place to legalize weed. So I expected maybe some weed dispensaries or shops. I don't think I saw any of those. I didn't smell any weed in the air. I just thought they had like embraced weed culture, especially leading up to 420. I thought you'd seen signs or something. There was none of that. City was pretty clean. There was a couple,
Oh, the homeless people. The homelessness. Outrageous. They were everywhere.
I wasn't going to go that extreme.
I mean, it was. They were everywhere.
They were a lot more prominent than I was anticipating as well.
Yeah, we got on one trolley because they have the free trolley that's running through their outdoor downtown walkable mall area. And it was full of homeless people. It was just insane.
Yeah. Not what I expected. There was a guy, we went into a Ross. And
he was tweaking.
He was doing something. And keep in mind, he's a white guy. And they wouldn't let him into the back dressing rooms. So as he's walking towards us, he tells them to stop being racist.
Stop being racist.
So that was awkward. Like, you're saying it like us. You're white. So that was different. And I think the person turning away was like Middle Eastern, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. He wasn't white.
Yeah, that was just a unique experience. But Denver ate good, got on the train, got back. Airport was decent, not too bad. We actually flew back through Denver. Unbeknownst to my co-host here, who thought we had a direct flight back.
I did think we had a direct flight back. Shout out to Denver International Airport. I can't remember what the abbreviation is. They had an awesome nursing room.
They did.
And it's funny the things that you get excited about as you get older. And I guess just a different stage in life. I've got 4 kids, so
that matters.
I'm currently breastfeeding. And obviously the biggest concern always is, where am I going to pump? What am I going to do with the milk? And the nursing area for the airport was really nice. Couch, they had a layout for if you needed to change your babies. Like, it was really well done.
Yeah. I was trying to pull this up to find the name.
It's just Denver International.
It's Denver International, but why do you have like 50 tabs open in Safari? Like, I didn't want to delete
them all. Don't close them.
I didn't. I did not. But
like something like I'll be like browsing on Instagram and something will pop up. I'm like, oh, I need to look further into that. And so I'll, open in browser.
Yeah.
You click that and it
just keeps, I know, and you just never close them. All right. It's known as DIA, so Denver International Airport. But yes, the room was nice, definitely catered. I wish they should have had 2. It was like 1 on each side. They just had the 1.
Yeah.
Which when we came back, we thought we were on the same side, but we weren't. So we were almost like angry. But it all worked out. It was like 3:00 in the morning and she needed the pump. And we kicked some white people out of the room.
Kick them out.
I mean, we came and I'm pretty sure they were sleeping.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. So that's what you get. You don't get to monopolize the maternity room, you or your kids. And so then we made our way on to Santa Ana Airport.
We flew into Santa Ana. So we chose these flights because when we first decided to go to Coachella, it was kind of last minute. We heard that Kanye might be there. We were teeter-tottering. And then when it was confirmed Kanye would be there, we just bought the tickets. We didn't really worry about anything else until we waited to see what the flights would look like. And the longer we waited, the worse they were.
Like, the closer I got to Coachella, the Palm Springs tickets got unreal. They were mortgage payments.
They were. And it wasn't even just waiting for the prices to change. We're waiting to see if they would open up more flights with better times.
Correct.
Because the times was just ridiculous.
All the return flights were like late overnight. It's like 20-hour, day long in America.
And we couldn't do that. So what we ended up doing was buying 2 one-way fares.
Mm-hmm.
And
shout out to Just Fly. They're not paying us either, but if you want to, go right ahead.
And so total for our flights, we only paid like $500 total. Maybe less, actually.
You got like 7 once you checked our bags. But.
Oh yeah, once we checked our bags and everything, it went up a little bit. Yeah, but initially,
we don't pick our seats. We don't check bags. Or we checked one bag, and we got some grace on that because somebody showed up with a 44-pound bag.
We'll get to this later, but I think the scale at Reagan was broken because when we checked our flight in Vegas, my bag was 4 pounds under.
Was that much less?
Yeah. So I'm just like,
no.
They tried to get us for a fee, but I guess maybe she forgot to charge it. That's God's grace. Boom.
Yeah. So yeah, we pull into Santa Ana. We rented a car, and Enterprise. I'm waiting on my phone call because you guys asked me how was my experience, and I let you know I hated it. You almost killed us several times. Because I got the equivalent of what should have been a Corolla. I've had a Corolla. I had a Corolla S was my first car. God bless me. So I had an idea of what a Corolla S was or a Corolla should ride like. I got that car in 2005. It was 2005. It was brand new. The car I bought in 2005 was better than the car. But as the Nissan Kicks, those suck.
If you drive one in real life, I want to have a conversation with you because there's no way
that car was miserable. The other option was like this ugly gray something. And
another Nissan.
Nissan, y'all have fallen off all the way off. So we got in, we picked it. It was white. It had some dings and nicks. And then I had to drive it. When I tell you this was probably the weakest car I've ever driven, like there were minimal hills and the RPMs were going, for those of you who know the cars, like the line was going like to 5 or 6. Like it was terrible. But it got us there. It did get us. We drove from Santa Ana to Palm Springs and we checked into the Vagabond.
Yeah.
The Vagabond.
For one night. Because we bought, because
of the flights.
First Coachella tip, buy the package.
Yes.
The ticket and your hotel, do it together. They throw in all this other stuff so that you'll buy the package together. It made our lives so much simpler. But because of the flights, we weren't due to check in for the Renaissance until Thursday. Yeah. So Wednesday night, we stayed at a comfortable little quaint hotel.
Comfortable.
Called the Vagabond.
And I don't even know if I guess it's a hotel. What's
a hotel.
Between an inn and a hotel? Is there a difference?
I don't know.
Because I feel like inns typically have like the front desk is not like in the building. And so we had to walk outside to get to it. I don't know if that's the differentiator. It kind of reminded you from the outside, if you've watched Ozark, which is coming back soon.
It was not as bad as at the Lazy Dog.
The way it looked from the outside, it was a little shaky. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It was not that bad.
But their pool was open late.
And this is another old lady mom thing. Like they had a freezer in their little room, their little refrigerator, and the freezer worked. Our refrigerator at the Renaissance did not have a freezer, and it barely kept everything cold.
What are you talking about? My water was starting to freeze.
The milk didn't freeze.
Well, I put the water bottles I had at the top had ice chunks in it.
Well, maybe I should have moved stuff around. But even still, It did not have a freezer.
It did not. But for what it's worth, it wasn't. It was actually pretty decent, especially for where it was located. Which I didn't realize was like 2 minutes from the actual hotel we stayed in. Mm-hmm. Palm Springs, didn't know what to expect. Not what I expected though. Just a very interesting town. We went out on Thursday night, Wednesday night.
No, Thursday.
We got there Wednesday.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Wednesday.
We went out Wednesday night, and it was something. We were out, and then this one lady just jumped on this dude while they were like dancing, and then I don't think they knew each other, and then I don't think they were together ever again after the dance moment. I think there were two different parties.
I don't remember that.
You remember the lady that was jumped on the dude right next to our table?
Oh yeah, she was with the group that was carrying around the Easter bunny.
Yeah, but she ain't no dude.
She wasn't. Yeah, they weren't all together.
So
it was just an interesting little vibe. Like I couldn't really wrap my head around the fashion. Like everybody.
I think we got it later.
We did later, maybe a little bit more, but generally speaking, I wasn't sure.
They wasn't impressed by it by any stretch.
It was just an interesting little place trying to keep up with the times. That's how I'll put it.
Fair enough. So we ended up, stayed. We had a request for a song, and then we dipped. And the next day was Coachella time. So
the next day we got pedicures and
but we went to our new place where we were going to stay.
Oh yeah, we went and checked into the hotel.
Yeah. So we get up, we go. We check in. It's pretty. I thought it was pretty decent spot. The entrance. We go and pick up our bracelets. I think we were the first in line because they were supposed to start at noon. We got there. He was still getting set up, but very easy process. And I know she said as far as you didn't say get. What did you say get?
I said just get the package.
Okay, so I was going to say the same
general admission or VIP. Just get the package.
No. Get VIP, and I'll explain later, but I believe it made a huge difference. Now, if I was 10 years younger, with 10 years younger feet, then you could probably get away with general admission. Or if you just like camping out in the grass, and the actual stages had a lot of grass, but I don't know where all the dirt came from because it wasn't like it was just dirt everywhere, but there was dirt everywhere.
Yeah. Because we were in the desert. Yeah,
but I saw grass. Like I was sitting on grass. So it felt like it shouldn't have been as dusty as it was. But I personally would say definitely pay the extra to get the VIP. It got you exclusive access into places that allowed you to buy stuff for significantly less long waits. It had some better, it was really the only seating areas that it had was mostly in the VIP areas. It allowed entrance into one venue directly. Granted, it put you in the back, but you didn't have to wait in line for that. The Rose Garden was super nice, which we'll get into here in a moment. But I would suggest the VIP if you're going to go. And before I start fanboying out, you should go. Like, I'll put it into context here in a minute, but
he finally understands what I mean.
I do. It was made very clear to me what festival life is like. I've been to a number of different concerts and shows. I've even been to like Reach Records. They used to do one where everybody would perform at one show, but I hadn't done like a festival for a day. Amazing. So yeah, we checked in. We got our bracelets. For those of you who follow us on social media, you saw that. Then you treated us to pedicures. Would you like to explain how you found it and what that was like?
I just did a Google search. Really?
No.
Yeah. I just did a Google search because I am familiar with festivals. I know how much your feet can hurt, legs, back, all of that. So I typically will go and get a pedicure before I go to a festival. So obviously I couldn't just go by myself. I had to take my husband, so I treated him to.
They did all the driving, so yeah.
Yeah, you're all right though. That's what the men are supposed to do.
And given where we were, I think that was best.
I agree, 100%. We had pedicures. They were really good. Way better price than the ones that we get here.
So that real quick on that, I will tell you guys, people hate California, I think, because like the state taxes are super like absurd for people to make a bunch of money. The pricing of most everything was cheaper than it was here.
Yeah.
Like I know yesterday was $420. Those prices, from what I understand, were much better than general, which I guess you would kind of expect. The pedicures were really well priced.
Yeah, we got And then these were like superb
with
pedicures.
hot stone. Hey, if they get a hot stone option wherever you're at, get that thing. Because I didn't know what to expect. When I didn't know if I was going to have to stand on the hot stones. I didn't know if they was going to lay them on my legs. I didn't know what to expect. But they were like rubbing my legs with the 2 hot stones. That was a great finishing move to the pedicure.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, it was a good job. Good choice.
But it was like they were like $50 a piece. Yeah. And I know here in Stafford, like that pedicure easily runs like $100.
Yeah.
Easy.
And the massage, we got like extra 15 minutes. 10. I mean, it's at the timer, but the one girl, I think she was all right. She would have kept going, but your lady stopped her. I was like, no, that's the clock going off. Time to get you on to the next person. I think she went and did a manicure.
Yeah, she went and did another person.
But really, really good experience. Did we do anything else Thursday night?
No, we went to try to get onto the festival ground.
Yeah, so
because they told us that we'd be able
Coachella, you lucky I can't find the emails. American Express, I think, is another one that advertised, hey, come on Thursday for some early access. You can get some early shopping because let me tell you, Friday, the merch line was out of its mind. Could you imagine we could have got our lockers and merch on Thursday instead of having to do it on Friday? We'll get to the lockers here in a minute. But yeah, so we went on a dummy mission of all dummy missions and drove all the way to the grounds just to ride around for about an hour and a half, ask a bunch of people and pull into certain driveways of like the festival just to be told you can't come here.
You can't come in here.
Nothing is set up. Everything was 3 days behind until the day before. So I don't know what to tell you, but you can't stay here. And did we eat there? That's when we found the lounge, right? On the way back from
we
there?
did. We found the lounge.
So
you want to talk about the lounge?
We can talk about the lounge and high level. See what I did there. So a new thing, and I've been out of the game for a really long time. So on the back of 420, obviously California, legal marijuana and all that. So what they've done is they've taken the next level here. And I had to see it for myself. So I did. They have weed lounges.
Dispensary lounge.
Where basically you come in, they got the whole shop set up, which is still really weird to me. Like, I still find it weird that people are just going in stores buying weed. I don't care where you are. Growing up, that was just not a thing. Like, if you knew what I went through as a child to get and smoke weed, and now you can just go to like the grocery store and just buy it off a shelf or in full display, it's still kind of mind blowing to me that people can do that, but it's a new day, new age. So they've taken it a step further than anything I've seen. Cause I went to Vegas and I think it was the first dispensary I went to was when we were in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And I was blown away then by just that you can do this legally. But they've now taken it a step further. It's becoming like a country club where you walk in and they got the little security guy, but off to the right was like this room and it's set. They got a couch. They got water. Apparently you can get drinks. There was chips available for you. Like there's this massive TV that like Netflix on it. I sat and watched our podcast there for marketing. That's what we do. Purposes. Somebody came in and was watching it with us. That was cool. But I was just like, this is a thing. So once we left there, I realized that that's a genius. Like, I don't know where we are federally. It's going back and forth, but that's a cash cow. Because the one thing is, as adults, especially if you have kids and stuff, you might not want to smoke around your kids, but you don't want to smoke outside all the time. So how great would it be to go somewhere with other fellow smokers, just like a bar, but be able to smoke? Like, I think it's genius. The problem is you got to be careful because if they're in cahoots with the police and you come in there and smoke and leave, they'll just pull you over and then you'll go to jail. So I think there's some things they got to work out, some kinks in the system, but I was just blown away that existed in America and it's legal. It just feels really weird, but your thoughts?
I thought it was pretty cool. We've had many discussions about the legalization of marijuana and how that would impact the community. So to go in there and see it was minority owned, it looked like.
That's a good point.
Everyone there working was minority.
Oh, real quick. And it was like a depot.
Yeah, like there was a bunch of them right in the same area.
It was like a shopping center of dispensaries.
It was shopping center. It was just nuts. So. But they were literally everywhere. Well, everywhere we were.
Yeah.
And then they were very well advertised. Billboards on, the wrapping of cars.
Yeah, they're making good money.
Everywhere.
So yeah, we did that on the way home or back to the room, and then I think we just chilled out.
We did because we knew that Friday was soon approaching.
Yeah.
And we had a big weekend ahead of us.
So the first day we wake up Friday and we were trying to see a artist by the name of Jada G, who I was slightly familiar with, not very familiar with, but had an interest. So before we went, we listened to a bunch of different random artists.
We did.
Most of which I don't think we went to see a bunch of them. I feel like most of the people we went to see, we kind of knew going into.
Yeah.
But there was one guy I could not remember. I think he's of Asian descent. I really wish we could have seen that. Hopefully that's politically correct. But
kill us if it's not.
It's fine. I don't really care. We're just getting started. You can't really cancel us yet. We're not that popular. Bring it up in 10 years and we win an award somewhere. I don't care. But no, we went, and so we drove because the parking was free. And the walk wasn't terrible, wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. We got in pretty early.
You walked around,
walked in. All the people that were working were super nice, super supportive.
Happy Coachella.
Yeah, happy Coachella, real laid back. One girl brought a change of clothes because I saw her later in that night. She had like a staff thing, but she was in like a dress. Like, so I guess it's like I used to work for the Washington Redskins at the time, and at the third quarter, once my job was done in the ticket office, I could go watch the game. So I'm thinking they had that same ability, or if you worked in the venue, obviously you can watch the concerts. It's actually a pretty great gig.
That's what I said.
But walking in, really nice, pretty scenic. It was on a polo ground, so for those of you who know polo, it's like golfing with a stick and a horse. Polo logo if you wear polo. What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
My point is the grounds were nice. It was a nice area. It was like country clubbish. It's fancy, ritzy, and all that. So we walk in through VIP, which was very well sectioned off. Made very clear they had these little box things that you put there's a microchip in here, and it lets you know that, hey,
this person
belongs here. Didn't ever see it really turn red for anybody, so more power to them. We got in. It was a bunch of different shops. We never got to go to Ray-Ban. I just thought about that.
And I heard it was actually pretty cool.
Huh?
I saw online that it was actually pretty cool. But it was another one of those immersive things.
So they weren't giving away free shades?
No.
All right. Because had we missed some free shades, I'd have been upset.
No, they were not giving away free sunglasses.
But yeah, it was a bunch of different little booths, so to speak. And then there was a big bar in the middle with probably 40 people working. And I will say that is another part of this I thought was really well done, is it was well staffed. There weren't a ton of long lines anywhere because of the people. The lines were just because of so many people. Even the locker part, which we would definitely suggest you get a locker. It can make a world of difference.
It does make a world of difference.
And once you get the locker, you keep the locker for all 3 days. So you don't have to take your stuff in and out. You got the same locker. Grace again, because we paid for, I think, a medium.
We paid for a medium.
And the lady was like,
the mediums weren't ready or something.
Available or something. So they were like, here, just take
the large.
Like, of course I will. So we did that and it worked out. It was more space than we needed, but more power to it. Thank you, God, for that. However, there is an initial wait. So probably about 30 minutes we had to stand in a line, and we got there before any shows had started.
Yeah.
So the line was already long. The one thing I will say that I did not like about the layout was a lot of the lockers, the merch, and some of the other, almost not really food, but some of the other big event things were far from VIP. So we came in through VIP, and then we had to walk all the way around to get to the lockers, which meant everybody who first entered went straight to the lockers. So all the general admission jokers got in line ahead of us, and then the sign and the Ferris wheel, everything was by the main general admission entrance, and I don't like that. Paid for better than that, but it's not the point. Anything else on that part?
No, it was pretty simple, straightforward. We got our lockers.
But even in that, the attention to detail, like they could have just given me these basic, boring trash lockers. They like did like artwork and painted on it. There's some pictures we've posted, just kind of displaying. It was like little small stuff. Someone paid good attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
And as we kind of talked through this, I may remember some other things, but they were just really subtle things that I felt showed the level of meticulousness in making sure this went off without a hitch. The signage was pretty well done. We didn't like how late the lineups came out on the app.
Schedule, yeah.
But the app in itself was ready really early. I didn't have any issues within the app. It functioned really smoothly. It was just really well done, really classy, the way in which I felt everything was put together. And then we started with the shows.
Mm-hmm. Did you want the schedule back?
No. I mean, I know the first one, but I won't need that. So we started with, went in through VIP and went to see Jada G. It was in a tent.
Yeah.
I guess you call it a tent. Tent, but then you walk in and it's like these, it's like going
strobe lights. It's like disco.
No, what's the little things we had to walk through? Like they weren't noodles. It's like if you go into like a freezer.
Oh, like a meat packing.
Yeah, I was thinking meat packing, but I don't know what she used it. So you walk through that. You can hear the music obviously from well outside, like boom, 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 boom. So we walk in and it's lit. She was
jamming. Like she had such a vibe. I didn't know anything about her. She was on his list of artists that he wanted to see, so I didn't know really what I was walking into. But the Black Girl Magic on Friday was on full display. From Jada G, Ari Lennox. I guess obviously you can count City Girls. And
you can count City Girls.
You gonna count City Girls. Like they all just did the thing. So they were all really good.
Was Meg Friday too? Or was she Saturday?
No, she was Saturday.
Okay, I know she wasn't on my list. Okay.
Yeah. Snow, like the women came out and did it on that first day. I really liked, I think the best part about her set was just looking at the diversity in the crowd and the music that she was playing. Because it wasn't, like she was Black, but it was like disco, old 70s disco. Like it was such a vibe. I was in there waving.
And I think that was, and I'm not really one of those energy vibe astrology people, but the vibe of the venue and the show was just positive. Like there was so many different, there was, I think, some country artists, there was obviously EDM, there was hip hop, there was R&B, there was electronic, there was a bunch of different people performing to a bunch of different target audiences. But it was just a really positive vibe. Like there was I didn't see any fighting. I didn't see really any yelling. It was just people there to have a good time. And I think that was started with, like I said, the Jada G set. We walked in and it was just people just grooving and chilling and moving, just having a good time. A couple people had their little circle. People had their little bags on the ground or whatever. People were cohesive. You saw a bunch of people walking through. They'd have their hand up. They'd be holding each other. Like it was just really, really dope. Like it was just a good experience, a good feel for me. And then we went out to Ari Lennox, who was more of your focus. We had seen her on the Dreamville Festival. So shout out to J. Cole and what he's doing. I believe that'll continue to grow and expand, and we will be there
next year.
Okay. She says next year.
We're going next
year.
So
we'll be there next year. Stamp it. But I liked her. I've known some of her music, but I didn't know her as much. I did not know that she sang about the stuff she sang about. Like, I was surprised. to say the least. She came out, had this really dope red catsuit thing. I think she had some red heels to match, so definitely set kind of a tone and a vibe.
She took them shoes off pretty quick.
She did. Yeah, she said I'm taking the joints off. She was on the main stage, so shout out to her for that. That's a huge win. I don't care if it was early in the day or not. On the main stage at Coachella, I think she said that was her first time there.
Yeah.
So that'll be a recurring theme. A lot of people we saw, it was their first time, which I think's dope. Even for the people that's going to come on the second weekend, you get the leftovers. We got the first time. So no, I thought that was really cool as well. Did you want to say anything about her set?
I mean, it was really good. I've been listening to her for some years, so it was great to finally see her live. And I say finally see her live. I'm pretty sure she was at another festival I went to.
Festival or something, because she was on something here. Yeah, she's from
the area. I'm pretty sure it was Broccoli Festival. Child, I don't remember. Like, it all starts to kind of blur together at some point. And like, I know the people I've seen, like the people that I really, really enjoyed seeing, obviously I remember those performances more, but I'm almost positive I've seen her live. I will remember her after this performance because it was really good. She sounded really good. She was a little late.
No, she was late. She was probably one of the latest. The two women was the two latest. So we ain't forget that, Ari.
Yeah, she was late, but she did come out and she did such an amazing job.
She did the songs I think you wanted to.
She did. She did all the songs I wanted to hear her do, which for me is important because when I go to see someone, I really do want to hear the songs that make me love them as artists. And I don't think there was any performance that we watched that I didn't hear at least one song that I really wanted to hear.
Agreed. And I think that's another testament to Coachella because if you look at the lineup, there's a ton of names, probably maybe over 100 names. I'm just guesstimating between the 3 days. And because they had I think 7 stages, and then they had the little dome joint, like it allowed everybody to have at minimum a 30-minute set. I think Amber Mark was one that was 30 minutes. Everyone else was 45 or.
No, Mariah the Scientist was only 30 minutes.
Is that? No, Mariah, that's who we didn't get a chance to see.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to.
But most everybody was 40 minutes and upwards, maybe around an hour, but most were in that 40 to 50-minute range. So it allowed you to get all of the artists' bigger songs. And they played them, and they performed them really, really well. So we went from, wow, I didn't realize they had so many women to start that on Friday. So we went next to the City Girls.
Now, full disclosure, whatever you want to call it, I do not listen to City Girls. There is really nothing about their music that relates to really anything about me. One, because I don't live that life no more. I am not in the streets anymore. So it's just not my thing. But then when I listen to the lyrics, it's really just not my vibe. And that is true. Like, it's never been my vibe. But I did go and watch their set. It was really, really well done. Kudos to those ladies. I knew what to expect as far as their attire. I didn't know what to expect as far as choreography, but I did at the same time. So I wasn't necessarily shocked by the performance that they put on. I think mostly for me, it was like I went to go see it to say that I saw it, but it wasn't like on my list of, oh yeah, I gotta go see those City Girls.
So no, I agree. Like y'all know me. I wasn't excited to see the City Girls until I saw the City Girls.
Until I saw the City Girls.
And I was shocked. I said it then and I'll say it again. Like, I knew people mess with City Girls. I know they're really popular on social media. JT and Young Miami. I think Miami might have been like dating Diddy or something. Like, industry wise, like they move around a lot. And I know that. But I don't listen to their music, and I ain't never heard nobody be like, yo, play that new City Girls. So I was like, it's going to be some people there, but it ain't going to be like that.
No, their set was packed.
Their set was packed. And what shocked me was it was mad dudes that was recording videos
and knew the words. Like, that's the part that got me too. Like, they was out there for the city girls.
Like, I would have expected, and you say whatever you want, like certain women to be out there twerking and acting crazy to city girls. It wasn't that. Like, it was a regular.
I saw a few white girls.
Yeah, a few. My point is, it was like 1,000 plus people, and the majority of them was like engaged in the performance and reciting the words. Now, they did have a stripper on the stage. Yeah. She ain't stripped, but they had a stripper pole.
So and she was on the pole.
She was on the pole. She was nice. Like, I don't know how you put a pole there with nothing on the top to anchor it, but the strip pole didn't move.
Yeah, so, and she ain't fall off it. So.
She ain't fall off. So good to her. Now, yeah, there was the twerking. Like, that's not terribly surprising. But I was really impressed by their breath control, by how they rap.
Breath control.
Like, I just didn't have much expectations of them as artists. Like, I just know them as social media personalities. So shout out to City Girls. Like, y'all, I'm not saying y'all necessarily got a fan, because I ain't probably gonna go listen to your music, but I appreciate and respect y'all as artists in a way that I did not before. So then we left there. I think we went to eat, maybe. Because we left and came back for Corday.
Maybe we did. I don't think we went to go eat. I think we went to find water.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Needless to say, we left and walked around, and there was just stages everywhere. It was starting to get a little darker, get a little cooler. And then we came back for one of my favorite performances, which was Corday. Obviously, a lot of people know he dates. I think he still dates Naomi Osaka. Pretty smart guy. He's been on Earn Your Leisure as far as like how he made money without doing music and how he's evolved. So I was really excited to see him. And he didn't let me down. Like,
he had a really good set.
I know him and I've seen him in interviews more so than I've seen him as a performer. So he's really subdued. He's smart. He's, kind of laid back. But he was like energetic in his performance, and we were able to get good, really good views from almost everybody that we really wanted to see. So now I was really impressed by his set. Nobody in any performance forgot their words or anything like that I remember. It was mostly free of technical difficulties. Everybody started a little bit late, but overall, like I thought he did really well. Yeah.
I enjoyed Corday's set. I think I knew about as much as you had told me about him. And I had listened to some of his music, but after watching his set, that'll be someone that I'll go back and listen to more. And I think there was a couple other artists that I didn't know as well as you did that I definitely would go back and listen to. Because I also wasn't on the Lil Baby kick before. But then when I started working out, I noticed that he was on like all these songs.
What? You weren't a Lil Baby?
It's not that I wasn't a fan. Like, I just wasn't really paying attention to him. Like, I just noticed, like, oh, yeah, he's on that song. I like that song. Oh, he's on that song. I like that song. And then I told you when that one workout playlist that I use, he's like every 3 songs. I'm just like, what else does this man do? All he does is live in the studio, apparently. So I was really excited for his set after watching his set also at Dreamville Festival a couple weekends ago. And he did not let me down. He did all the songs I wanted to hear. The performance was really good. I could actually see him on the stage. Shout out to the lighting crew at Coachella. Dreamville, y'all need to work on that for next year, because I swear if I pay all that money to come and I can't see on the stage, I'm writing a letter to somebody. It was just overall a really good performance. He had, what did you just say about the City Girls? He had good breath control.
Yeah. He did. He rapped. And for me, one of the knocks I always have on Lil Baby is he's not always the most easiest to understand. Live was not like that. Like, I understood him very clear. And there's some songs where he doesn't have, I don't know if it's auto-tune, I don't know what it is that he does, but some stuff is harder for me to understand. And he was clear. He had brought out, ironically enough, he brought out a big old cage, which NF did at the first show we went to.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. that they had that. He did what's the one that really kicked him off he did it at the award show about like black people.
The Bigger Picture?
Yeah. So he performed that, which at that event is big deal. Even though he's performed at other places. But like to your point, he did most everything. He didn't do a couple songs I would have wanted him to do. Like he didn't do the his verse from Wants and Needs, which I thought was amazing. He did a bunch of other stuff though, and he has like you said, a huge catalog. But the only thing, his set ended pretty abruptly.
Yeah,
so
we
don't know what happened. If the song just ended, the time ended, something, and he just dipped. Didn't really say anything.
Yeah, it was he did the Bigger Picture, and the song ended, the audio cut out, and then the lights just came on, and it was like,
I guess
is it over? It's over. Oh, okay. Well, we'll go find something to do now.
Yeah. So then we went to see Baby Keem, who I did not personally give a lot of respect to because he was Kendrick's cousin. And I think we talked about in the last episode, I feel like they should not have won that song over, I think it was Lil Baby and the J. Cole record. Mm-hmm. But he did the song.
Top of the morning. We
waited, and Kendrick did not come out. So it was a little disappointing. Oh, Lil Baby brought out Gunna. Gunna did Push and P. I'm not the hugest fan of the song, but it's a huge song. So that was cool to see that live. And then they did their song Drip. Drip Too Hard.
Yeah.
Which was even better in person than I've heard. So they did that together. So really dope. Baby did not disappoint. And then the night got tricky because, and I don't think we didn't talk about Daniel C's on here, did we?
We did not. We never have, actually.
Yeah. So we watched him perform. He came out with a bang. I will let you go watch the video. I believe it's up. But there were some things that came out about him. He addressed them, and then he rapped. And he performed really well. For me, like I've never seen really any of these people perform. I just heard their music, and he did that. However, most
of our time was spent viewing artists. Like we had a list, we had people we wanted to see, and we did our best to try to see everyone at some point in time.
So what that meant was some people we had to leave early.
We did.
And so we left Daniel Caesar early. And to my dismay, he brought out Justin Bieber, who you guys may or may not know I'm a huge fan of. Granted, I'm going to the show that he has here in DC, so I wasn't terribly upset. But I had to see my girl Snow. And so we went to see Snow. And my wife started doing this thing, and I picked up on it where she would suggest things like, so do you want to stay or do you want to go?
What?
And basically that meant she was ready to go, but she just wanted to put it on me to make the decision.
No.
You did that mad times.
Because I was trying to figure out what you wanted to do.
Well, I was standing there, so I was happy watching the show.
Because my concern was I know that you wanted to see Big Sean.
Mm-hmm.
And so we only had a few hiccups in scheduling where someone's set would be ending really quickly or there was an overlap. And Big Sean and Snow completely overlapped.
And she started mad.
And she started late.
So even if we were going to get 15 minutes, 20, 30 minutes of her and then leave, we lost 15 minutes because she wasn't on time. She said it was a technical difficulty. I don't know. She could have apologized when she came out. She ain't apologized. She just said it was technical difficulty. But then she got to it. And
she did. She got right to it. Everything that you think about her and what she sounds like live, go with it. She was amazing. Her voice is like butter. It's just smooth and it goes on easy. Like, I was so happy.
So happy that our plan was to leave early to go see Big Sean. And then she did that thing like, so do you want to stay or do you want to go? And basically that was like, yo, I want to stay. Because leading up to this, she kept saying, oh, because the one stage where a lot of the hip hop artists was a super dope stage. It was like a covering, but it was open. And then like it was like a dope set for like lights and everything, were huge screens. So her thought was Big Sean is going to take advantage of this venue because the venue was dope. So I was like, and I was like, I want to see.
And
Snow.
I was conflicted because I've
Super
seen
conflicted.
Big Sean before,
and that was the thing, you had seen him. That's
and
fair.
I know that Big Sean puts on a really good show.
Yeah.
And so prior to going to see Snow, I was just like, so for you, if you want to see Big Sean, I'll leave Snow a little early so that we can catch some of his set. But then Snow started singing, and it was like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. I gotta stay. And then right before I was going to say, okay, we can go, she started singing Dying for Your Love. So I definitely couldn't leave in because that is my song. If you've never heard it, go and listen to it. Dying for Your Love. Just an awesome song. She did it. She made me super happy in my soul. And then we left.
We did. So then we got to the Big Sean set and it was lit. I had not seen Big Sean really since the Drink Champs interview. And I was a little out on him, not terribly. I didn't think he necessarily deserved what Kanye said in the interview, but I also didn't think his response was the greatest either. But I like Big Sean, and I know Big Sean has been on a bunch of big songs. So I wanted to see which ones he would do. He did a couple of them, not my favorites of his catalog, but some of his bigger solo songs. So I understood him ending with, I think Bounce Back was the last song he did.
Yeah.
But performance was solid for what we saw. Didn't get to see as much as I may have wanted to, but yeah, overall, really, really good day. Really, really exciting. And then it ended with
Harry Styles.
Harry Styles, who I was not super excited to see, to be perfectly honest. I mean, we listened to his latest album, and I actually was impressed by the album. That was pretty good. But then we were tired, and my feet was hurting because I was unprepared for that. And we started walking, and then all of a sudden,
Shania freaking Twain came out onto the stage.
Shania Twain was on the stage.
It was so awesome. So if you don't know this about me, I listen to all types of music. Country music, EDM, rock and roll. Like, I listen to everything. So I remember as a little kid how popular Shania Twain used to be. Like, she's like country royalty. And for Harry to bring her out, and they did, now I can't remember the freaking name of the song. If you are on social media, you saw them do it together. It was so cute because even she thought about it. She's like, when I wrote this song, you were just a baby and your mom, hanging out with your mom. So it's really great to see how this song is taken on a different meaning for someone who's a fan, but also look at where you are. So that was super cute. They did an awesome job together.
Man, I feel like a woman.
But they did another one.
Oh,
they did two.
They did. I thought that was the one.
That was the first one they did.
Yeah. So you were talking about the other one.
I was talking about the other one.
Okay.
And they were two of her bigger songs.
They were.
It was just super cute, but he was ready to go. So I finished watching that song and we left. So another thing about Coachella. If you've done a festival, driven to a festival that's more than one day, you know that traffic getting out at the end of the night can be insane. We paid for the package, again, highly recommend it. And the package came with shuttle passes, but we also had a rental car. So it's just like, why be confined to the hours of this shuttle when we can just drive to the festival and come and go as we please? Wrong move. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't bother paying for preferred parking. Just don't mess with it. Get on the shuttle. We left, and Harry was only maybe halfway through his set. There was a DJ set going on. Was Diplo that night, or was Diplo the next night?
I think it was the first night. He just popped up.
Yeah, he just popped up and was surprised.
We tried to go, but
yeah, it was insane. There were still people watching a bunch of different performances. So when we left, we had gotten out early enough to avoid a lot of the traffic, or so we thought. I don't know where the fail was in the planning of who was going to be directing traffic out of the parking lot of people who drove, but they failed miserably. Yeah. It took us 2 hours to get out of the parking lot. Not get out of from Coachella, out of the parking lot. And then once we got out of the parking lot, it took us another 45 minutes to get away from Coachella. Then to drive back to our hotel was another 45 minutes. So we left around 11:30-ish. We didn't get back to our room until like 4:30. And another thing that they don't tell you about...
No, because Harry Styles doesn't come on until 11:35.
Okay, so maybe it was like 12:30.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah, because Diplo didn't start till midnight, and we was trying to get in his.
And yeah, we couldn't. Either way, it took us until like 4:30 to get back to the room.
Brutal.
What they don't tell you about the area is outside of Coachella, it's nothing but old people there, for real. And so everything closes at 1:00 at best.
Yeah, I would say that's generous.
Yeah, at best. There were some places that were 24 hours that we didn't try because, our stomachs aren't set up like that anymore. So we did I think we found a McDonald's the first night, and the other night we did Uber Eats or something like that.
Postmates.
Yeah, we did. It was Postmates because they gave us a little coupon code.
Which I still have.
It was just insane getting out of there. It was literally the worst experience I've ever had leaving a festival in that manner.
So was it the same night we went and had the sandstorm?
No, that was the next night.
So what was the Postmates night? Because Sunday I was like, don't know what Postmates. So I think Postmates was Saturday, so it had to be either Thursday or Friday night.
It was Thursday night, the sandstorm. Yeah.
Oh, man.
We got caught in a sandstorm. It wasn't really a sandstorm. But it was just really windy. And our little terrible car could not take it. And it was just getting pushed off the 2-lane dirt road that was covered in sand. It was a little scary. And it wasn't very well lit.
Not at all.
And our car just struggled.
Yeah. We got to the rest of I think it was a Wendy's, and like the screen thing was shaking. I was like, man, this screen's gonna fall in this car. Like something was happening at the window. Like this person came zooming into the drive. Like it was just a lot.
There's a lot going on. So yeah, that first night we didn't get back until like 4 or something in the morning. So definitely just take the shuttles, because the next 2 nights we did take the shuttles, and it took us an hour.
And you get to sleep on the way there.
Right. It took us an hour. We left, we got on the bus, we rolled back to the hotel in an hour. It was so much better than the first night.
Significantly better. The only caveat I would say is you didn't have access to VIP from the bus lane. Mm-hmm. So you had to walk all the way through the festival the opposite way from before. So we came right to our locker. And then we got right to the first show, which was Amber Mark, who was at the same stage as Snow. It was early. We were able to get super, super close. I've been a fan of hers for probably a little bit now. Her last album, I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm visualizing the album cover. But it's pretty solid. I was impressed by her performance. I didn't know what to expect. For her to be a kind of a newer artist on such a big stage, but I thought it was solid. I was impressed by the performance until we had to leave to catch Giveon.
No, I thought it was Masego.
Was Masego that day? Was he earlier? It was Masego. All right, you're right. But I thought she was solid. Your thoughts?
I didn't know who she was. So I just went and enjoyed the time. I thought she's a very good singer.
What was that? The American Express day? We did that the first day.
We did that the first day.
So other thing for Coachella, tons of free crap. Take advantage of it because stuff can get popular and fill up super fast. Like we got in line for American Express, and by the time we got inside, the line was dumb long, and we never went back because the line was kind of always long, and it was a little bit out the way. Oh, you didn't. So it was the same day we saw your people.
Oh yeah, I totally ran into Kyle and Deepti.
I don't know. I don't know these people
from Love Is Blind, and it was so like. I'm standing here and I think I was eating a truffle chip and taking a picture of Ray in one of the installations. And I just happened to look over.
She lost it.
I know, I did. I just a little bit. One, because Kyle is hot. Like, he's a good looking guy. And Deepti, she is gorgeous. And then I was like, I binged the show. And I thought at the end, they were going to end up hooking up and being together because I watched the reunion and now I follow them on social media and like I've been seeing them at like little different things together and it's like, oh, they're going to be a thing now. I hope they're a thing now. If they're watching, which would be dope. I hope you guys are a thing now because you guys make a super cute couple. Yeah.
So we went in this Frito-Lay place and initially we was thirsty. So we went into the Postmates because we were searching for free juice. I actually could have been because I was probably dehydrated. I'm not sure, but it tasted great. Like the one you didn't like, I thought was all right.
No, the purple one wasn't that good.
I mean, it wasn't as good as the orange one, but the green one was good. And the purple one, I think I just had a sip. I didn't have the whole one. But yeah, there was a bunch of free stuff. Take advantage of the free stuff. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
And so we say that. But at the same time, we've been back for a few days now. And in hindsight, like we're looking at stuff on Instagram, we're looking what other people posted. And it's like we saw a whole different
it's like we had a different event.
The show. Because it's like when I was sitting and they had a pumping area for breastfeeding mothers, go Coachella. I was sitting inside the little tent pumping. And the stage next to me, there was a set going on, and Ty Dolla $ign came out. And I'm like, I don't even know who's on the stage right now, but they got Ty Dolla $ign out. And I text Ray, he's like, oh man, I didn't know he was even going to be here. Neither did I. And we wouldn't have had, I had not been sitting there. The same thing, like we watched Daniel Caesar. Daniel Caesar didn't bring out Justin Bieber.
No, Giveon didn't bring out.
Giveon didn't bring out Justin Bieber. But later on, Daniel Caesar did. And there were so many instances of...
We were watching Corday, and he's like, and this, I just got to say this is a big deal. Diddy's here.
Diddy's here. And we just happened to look over at where he's pointing to, and there goes Diddy just walking by. And I'm like, when did he even come in here? Like, how did we miss that? Paris Hilton did a twirl in front of us in her little green outfit.
Came out, did her thing, took her pictures. And
then she did.
Kept it moving.
And so it's crazy because there's so much stuff going on simultaneously. You have no idea what else is going on. But then they also expect for you to do all these. And then the experiences that they had set up, really they weren't just, go stand in front of this little thing and take a picture. They were experiences. And it's like, how are you supposed to cram all of that into 3 days? Like I think we did a really good job because our feet still feel it. But I understand why people go both weekends.
100%. So I know I talk trash to the second weekenders, but I think that I 100% agree with you. Like, it's just a lot, and it all is happening at the same time because it's 7 different artists on 7 different stages, and they start maybe 5 minutes apart, but they're super spread out. So you never know who's going to get which guest, who's going to get who to come out. And with Kendrick announcing his album, I would be shocked if he didn't show up next weekend or this upcoming weekend since Baby Keem and everybody comes back. But it was just really cool to go from her. And then we went to Masego. He did the Apple Music song that kind of kicked off spatial audio amongst some of the other songs that he did. I thought he was was he the one Did he play the piano with the guy?
Mm-hmm.
So
and
what
the
was it?
saxophone, and he juggled.
I thought Giveon did the.
No,
Giveon did the saxophone.
No, it's Masego.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
No, you can, because I'm right.
I knew someone juggled. I thought
he did the moonwalk. Like, I guess he had a bucket list of things that he wanted to do on the Coachella stage. So he juggled. He played his saxophone. He did the moonwalk. What else did he do? He threw flowers out.
Yeah, he started throwing roses.
Yeah,
like
he was real lover boyish out there in his pajamas and his do-rag.
Super comfortable and do-rag.
For what it's worth, though, he put on a really good show.
He did. I didn't know he was that musically talented. The saxophone just kept picking it up, putting it down, and like did well. The piano thing, him and the guy going back and forth, I thought was dope as well. So he was probably one of my favorite as far as entertaining. Just his vibe, his energy was solid, and he just had a good time. Like I think everybody seemed as a performer to have just a really good time, and that was echoed in the crowd. And speaking of having a good time, you had an artist you wanted to go see who's pretty high energy.
Oh yeah, JID. Like, I'm a big fan. I was really excited to watch him after, again, another artist who was at the Dreamville Festival, but he is signed to Dreamville. So he was at Dreamville Festival a couple weeks ago. They released a mixtape right before Dreamville Festival. The mixtape is dope. He's got a single out. That's really good. He's got a song with Imagine Dragons. That's really good. So of all the people, I was probably most excited to see him. And womp womp. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened. Probably just still adjusting from Kanye dropping out. He was originally supposed to be on Sunday, and they switched his set from Sunday to Saturday at a different time. I think still on the same stage, though.
I think you're right. I would imagine, because almost hip hop was on one or the other.
Yeah,
and he wasn't on the main.
So he came out after a DJ set, and there was something going on with his audio. You could tell he was pissed off, but he kept it professional and made his way through. Earth Gang made an appearance, so that was really cool because I've never seen them either. And they did a few of their popular songs. They did Stick, so it was for
twice.
Me. They did do it twice. That was a really, really good performance. We're talking Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So the day Saturday, the weekend for me overall was overwhelmingly amazing. It was beyond all of my wildest expectations. And it definitely confirmed for me that I'm going to go to live music. I'm going to go to festivals. I'm going to see shows for as long as my body says that you can still do it. Unfortunately, also for me though, my uncle passed away Saturday morning. So while we were out running errands before heading to the show, my mom called me, and she let me know that he passed away. And so it was like, on one hand, it was just this amazing, awesome, like bucket list experience for me. And on the other hand, if I could have caught a flight home and came back to be with my family, I definitely would have, because it's a big deal. And so in between sets, in between watching different artists, like my mind's in 1,000 places, but to see JID and know JID, knowing where he started, knowing where he came from, to see him, his first time perform at Coachella, bringing out Earth Gang and really doing a great job of representing the artist that he is. It was awesome, and I had a great time.
I agree. I saw him at Dreamville, so I was a little privy to his ability as a rapper. But when you can rap or start songs like a cappella the way he did, Freddie Gibbs also was able to do that. Like, that's just a different level of talent to me. When you don't have the audio track behind you, you can just go and go fast. Well, he rapped fast. So I was really impressed by him. I'm not the hugest Earth Gang fan. Their music is a little confusing to me sometimes about where they stand on certain things. But ultimately, it was cool to see them perform. But to give you an idea, we had left Masego set I think we left on time. I think we finished his.
Yeah, we finished his set.
But then we had to walk to the other one, which, what do you say, maybe half mile?
Yeah.
So we had to walk a half mile to Jid's set. And then what happened is when Jid's set was over, we had to make that same half mile walk back to the stage we had just left for Giveon. So we did that quite a few times. So just to give you an idea of the walking, like.
Yeah, I got all my steps in. I closed all of my rings all 4 days that we were walking around.
Between, I think, Saturday night and Sunday's first show, she had like filled her exercise goal. So it was like by the midnight time to the next day, like very early, like rings was getting, we was closing them things. And I got my new watch, so I didn't set my goals. So my goals was like outrageous, and I was packing them up and putting them down. But then so we went back to Giveon, who I'll let you start, but I enjoyed the set.
What is that?
I didn't know.
I like Giveon as an artist, but apparently as a boyfriend, he's garbage.
Yeah,
which is it's just funny because he's singing all these. Like, have you listened to that album?
Yeah,
the album is really
like
good.
He's a victim.
Like he's the victim. Like he's been betrayed by this woman. When in reality, he's a dog.
Yeah, they got into it on
Justine Skye.
Yeah, she posted something like a song she had coming, and his job was like The Truth or something.
No, his song is called Liar, and then hers is something else. What lies or
it's something like that where it's clearly they're not on the same page or fans of each other at this present moment.
Nah, they broke up.
Yeah, it clearly, and it didn't go well. But I guess the emotions could still be real for him. Maybe.
I mean, I'm not saying that the emotions aren't real. Like, it could come from somewhere, but he is currently a dog, so it does make you kind of look at him differently. I will say his voice live versus his voice on the album. His voice live is better. It is just amazing, and it's soulful. And he is singing the draws off of women. Like, I just know it. Like, that is what he is doing, which is why him and Justine Skye have broken up. Yeah. But that's for another episode.
And her single or whatever is called What a Lie. And then his response to that, I can try and find it here in a minute. But clearly, they weren't on the best of terms. But as a performer, and he did Heartbreak Anniversary, which is the biggest song I wanted to hear from him. Got to sing along a little bit because I knew more of the words than some of his other music, but solid set on a huge stage. So I thought he did pretty well.
Had the silk shirt on, blowing in the wind. Like he did his little thing. He did.
Then we took a break, did some different experiences. I think that's when I got this. FTX was everywhere, had this really dope immersive light thing. You go in and you look at the ceiling, and then if you've been to like Artec House, like the lights and stuff is changing for you. So let me be clear, I'm not condoning using drugs. Let me make that 100% clear. However, the way in which a lot of the experiences were set up, if you did drugs, I think you would have got a great bang for your buck on the different situations that you were in, whether it be the lighting, whether it be the sounds. Like, it was just visuals. Cool. It was cool as like a regular person. So I can only imagine if he was on drugs or something, it'd been even greater.
Real trippy.
Yeah. So we went to see Disclosure, and that's when we made our way over to like the Heineken House area. Did you want to touch on Disclosure at all? Or
I mean, Disclosure was great. I'm a big fan. I've loved the last, I guess, maybe 3 albums. They've done a lot of not necessarily mashups, but songs with pretty much all the major artists you can think of the last decade, from like Adele to The Weeknd to Sam Smith. They did do Latch. They were just really good.
So then from there, Flume was there. I was not as familiar with Flume, but I listened to some of his music, was DJ sets, and I liked Flume better. than Disclosure for me. His set I thought was cool. He had this like was he the one with the wheel thing?
No, that was Swedish House Mafia.
No, because that Swedish House had the circle.
The wheel.
But there was like when he had to start over because he screwed it up.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that was Flume.
So now that was pretty cool.
He did all my favorite mixes. I'm a big fan of him as well. I enjoyed both sets, but I probably did enjoy Flume's more.
Yeah.
I danced more. I was a dancing diva this weekend.
We got a little closer for him because Disclosure Joints was back there. Like, he was trying to go around. He was like all the way around. But no, the EDM sets were dope. Great visuals. I would have liked some of them in the other stage. I think would have been better because when she was pumping one time, I went into, I don't even know who it was, but they was rocking.
Who was it? When I was there was one point in time when I was pumping emo. Oh, what was the name of their little group? Saturday. Emo. I'm gonna keep saying it until it pops up. Oh, jeez. Emo night. So basically, their entire set was old emo songs from when I was in high school. And I'm not just when I was in high school, just the last decade of all the best emo music and mixes you could think of. And they were really, really good. And they were in the Sahara tent, that stage, whatever.
Yeah. Next, we went to, I think we walked around for a little bit. But somehow we got from Flume and went backwards because Freddie Gibbs was back towards Disclosure. So I'm not sure how we ended up going back, but we did. I wanted to see. Yeah, that's also true.
The way, like, it was just insanely big.
Yes, very big. People everywhere, and I know Freddie Gibbs a lot from the drama, but I also know him from the freestyle, and he can rap. So I was expecting that. His set was a little flagrant. His DJ or whoever, I don't know if it was like his part of his performance or like they got into it, but he kept going at his DJ. So it was a little awkward for me, but his ability to rap and like how you go from song to song and tell the story and lead into it, I thought he did an amazing job of that. But again, he was real aggressive towards his DJ. So I think we eventually got on up out of there. Plus, I think it was hungry.
Yeah, we had to go find food.
Yeah, and I think that's when you had that subpar pizza. Was that the subpar pizza night?
No, I think that was
a good pizza night.
That was a good pizza night.
That was a good pizza night.
So the food, because it's like we want to tell you guys about our experience, and it's just there was so much in this small 3-day span. I think it was Saturday. We looked at the time and it was just like, how is it already 7:00? Like, there's no way it's 7:00 already. We're going to post more pictures and videos for you guys to see, like, visually more of the stuff that we're talking about. But it's just like there's so many different things that we could talk about forever and ever and ever. The food, though. So, how do I want to put this? The food was good. We had one night we did a po' boy sandwich, chicken sandwich type thing. It was a lot of bread, but the meat was very, very, very well seasoned.
They just gave you 2 thick chicken breasts.
But I don't know what they did to them. Them things was on point. We had funnel cake that was really good.
Funnel cake, amazing.
Yeah, he tore it up. But
like, I was walking and eating, and one dude was like, "It's good."
It's good, isn't it?
And I didn't really pay attention. I look, he had a funnel cake too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So now I guess I could tell I was going in. I probably should have shared more, but
he did not. He gave me like the tiniest, teeny tiny, bitty, teeny tiny bite that he could have given with it still saying he shared.
Yeah, it wasn't my most proudest moment. I'm not gonna lie to you. But it was fire.
The food was good, but if you're a person who does not like to pay a lot of money for those sorts of things when you go to like concerts and events, this is not gonna make you happy. Like, it was $40 for 2 slices of pizza, 2 bottles of water, and I think some fries or something. Like, it was kind of insane. We didn't drink a lot. We didn't drink at all.
I didn't drink at all.
We didn't drink at all. One, because during the day it is scorching hot. And to be out there in that sun with it beating down on you, it just was not a good look to be drinking. So we were just crushing all the water. We did not get sunburned. Shout out to Black Girl Skin Sunscreen, which is what I bought from Target. It works amazing. If you're looking for some sunscreen, you're going somewhere and you want to support a Black business and put your Black dollars in Black pockets, definitely go cop that, because neither one of us got burned at all. What else was there? Did you want to talk more about the experiences?
Yeah, it was Saturday. It was Heineken House night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Antarctica?
Yeah, Antarctica.
So they had... I'll talk about Antarctica. You can talk about Heineken House. So they had this thing that was for HP. I'm a Mac guy. I've been a Mac guy for a long time. Used to work at Dell. So never been an HP fan. Not gonna lie to y'all. But we just stumbled upon this white dome thing. It was like...
got in line.
Like, we got in line. And the line moved relatively quick once they let people in. But we were at the end of the line. And the experience was called Antarctic.
Although I don't really know why, because
we do know why.
The
visuals had nothing to do with Antarctica. I thought it was gonna be like a explanation of Antarctica and the ice caps melting or something, and how we need to save the planet,
conserve water.
Yeah, something like that. It was not like that at all. But because we were towards the end of the line, my lovely wife led us to the closest part of Antarctica that the building offered, which was this massive blower that was literally right behind our seat. Probably from our seat to the wall, maybe a slightly more, was this blower. And it was pumping. And I mean, it was pumping. And I was freezing. Thank God we went and got our jackets before. Or I would have got up and left. And they would have had to catch me on the next round.
But during the day, I could imagine that felt amazing. Unfortunately, it was nighttime and it was freezing at night. And so,
freezing.
That night it was pretty cold, because that was the night where the wind was blowing everything all around the world.
It was relatively chilly. I'll give you that. And so, no, it was a really dope experience. Again, the whole drug thing I said earlier, but just for regular people, it was just a cool experience, like the music and the stuff, and it was just
the lights and the screen and the colors. It was really cool.
It was really cool. And then we left that, and they had this water that's like 7 times filtered, and it was like filtering it in front of you. So you had to like wait. We definitely refilled on that. We drank
multiple times.
We filled up, drank, got back in line, refilled again, drank some more, and then went to Heineken House.
Yeah, and so I've been to festivals where Heineken's had installations and all that. I don't think I've ever been to one where they had an actual stage, though. They had some chopped and screwed DJs out there killing it with really good mixes. They only served Heineken over there, so there wasn't really any use for us, because
$12 a bottle.
Water. Yeah, a can.
Can, yeah, there you go.
12-ounce can. It was really cool, though. Very well put together. They had a really dope seating area,
which we didn't find out until we were ready to leave. Had I known, my feet would have probably taken me to the seating area ahead of time, but it was cool to be in there on the stage and watching the DJs and do their thing.
Yeah, we had a good time in that little space. It was very black.
Very black. Probably the blackest space. Definitely the blackest space of the weekend.
It was.
For me. And then I think we ended with, Billie Eilish. We had to choose. And I'm sorry, I said Daniel Caesar earlier played the video. It was Isaiah Rashad. He played the video. And for those of you who need to know what happened, Google it, knock yourselves out. Live your truth. But then we went to see him perform, and like I said, we already covered that. But Meg Thee Stallion performed, and I had absolutely no interest. I've been very clear about how I feel about her and the Tory Lanez situation. But by all accounts, she killed it. Did an unreleased verse of something that apparently was really well. But I was more excited to go see 21 Savage. Did we see Billie Eilish at all? Or we skipped
a little bit, but not a whole lot of her.
Okay. So yeah, didn't care about her.
It's not that we didn't care.
I did not care.
What?
No, just be clear. Like, okay, she's not.
He did not care.
Her music is like kind of depressing and like brings me down the times I've listened to it. So she had the single, and that was cool, but by and large, I had no interest, especially considering 21 Savage was also performing, who I'm a much bigger fan of than my lovely co-host here.
I will give him his credit. He has definitely improved in his lyrical content and skills. I've never been a huge fan of his before. I don't think I ever really listened to him until he was on a song with J. Cole. And I listened to the song for J. Cole, and I still wasn't super impressed. And then he was on a J. Cole song, and his verse was good. And that made me go back and listen to him a little bit. I probably still won't become like this major fan, but he did do a good set. Again, but my old ears or my old age or whatever you want to call it, listening to the words of the song and watching and that's, I think for me, that's always an experience within itself when you go to these kinds of shows, watching the people who are obviously big fans sing along with the songs. Because like, I don't be looking to start any trouble or make any trouble. I'm just observing. And white people love rap music. They do. And they do.
Yeah.
They do. They love it. And it was just every rap artist that was there. There were groups of people just singing and just super into these songs that I had probably only heard maybe once before.
Fair. So we took the shuttle home for the first time, and boy, oh boy, was it amazing.
Snoring.
Super efficient. I ain't tripping. I was, as you heard, we were up to 4 the morning before, and then we got up and did it again. Soaked my feet each night.
You did? You
ran that hot water.
Put them full of hot water.
Pulled the chair from the living room area on up next to it. One night, I think I just got in the tub and the whole body needed it. It was the Saturday night when she decided to order Postmates at 4 a.m.
I was so hungry.
And they got there probably like 5 or who knows when. Like, we were setting alarms trying to stay awake. The front desk ended up calling us. I had to go downstairs and give them a code that I was like half asleep from. Like, it was just awful experience for myself.
So make sure you've got food wherever you're staying that you can warm up easily. Because
there's not a lot of options available, and they're not the most efficient that late at night, which understandable. But then the next day we got up. Last day was kind of bittersweet, but one artist we wanted to see because it was hard to get up and get out. We ended up missing Mariah the Scientist. So hopefully I'll be able to catch her on this weekend when she performs, because I would like to. It'll probably be on Sunday. We'll be in church, so may or may not be able to see it because they're 3 hours behind. No, it'd be like 5 o'clock here, so we might be able to see it.
Should be able to see it.
So by the time we got there, she was really done. So it led us to Mr. Maxo Cream, who I was introduced by the Joe Budden podcast, and I liked him. Young guy, got a lot going for him, smart guy. And you don't have him on here. But to her point, it was mad white people that was like rapping and like made the mosh pit. And I was just surprised that they knew him and knew the words like they did. So I'm not usually the biggest white person advocate, but I was appreciative of their understanding of culture. They weren't just there because it's like some black guy rapping. Like, it was a guy that they had followed, and that was true of really every set. The 21 set, the Griselda set, like
the Griselda set. Can we talk about that real quick?
I think that's this day, so we're about to get there. Yeah. I mean, we can jump. I think that was next, right?
Oh no, Sunday was really light, so we took it easy.
You don't even have them on here.
So, I thought I did.
No. So I'm pretty sure they were Sunday though. I'm not sure.
It was Sunday. I just don't know when on Sunday.
I thought they were before Vince. I'm pretty sure they were before Vince. But Maxo, because I think they were back to back. So after his set, which he did really well, first time at Coachella, Griselda came out and you said, let's talk about it. So I'll let you just start.
They put on a show. Like on the flyer, on the lineup, on the schedule, it just sells Griselda. But Griselda Records were there. He brought out all of his artists, one in particular, Benny the Butcher. He did half the set by himself. Excuse me. He did such a good job. And I'm really just getting into Benny the Butcher, but the Butcher is definitely coming because he's got an album dropping later on this summer. It's shaping up to be a good year in music because Kendrick is dropping, Jack Harlow is dropping, Pusha's dropping an album
in 2 days.
It's like,
but tomorrow,
actually. Right? Benny the Butcher's dropping.
Future's dropping the week after that.
It's going.
Lil Baby said he's coming.
Insane this year for hip hop. I'm looking forward to the nominations later on in the year.
There's rumors that Drake is starting to work again to follow up.
Certified Lover Boy. I just wish you just go sit down somewhere.
That's why he needs to come back because everybody talking about Cole, everybody talking about Ye, everybody talking about Kendrick,
and deservedly. We'll see with Kendrick.
They will be talking about Kendrick. Like I think we know what Kendrick represents.
I mean, we do, but it's just going to be interesting to see how this summer shapes up musically because there's a lot of stuff coming out that it also make for some pretty good shows coming up too.
But to that point, and he didn't take up half the set. They started out because contractually they're going through a lot. Conway the Machine left Aftermath, so that has kind of left the group, and not really a lurch, but it's kind of an awkward business situation. Even though I believe they're all friends, obviously they perform together. So West Side Gun started. He did like 2 or 3 songs. Benny did probably 4 or 5 songs. And then Conway ended with like 3 songs. So they all kind of had their own time. I would argue, most people would, that Benny is the biggest name. So it makes sense that he got an extra song or 2. But no, their set was really, really cool. I really enjoyed it. Didn't know what to expect, again, from really anybody as a performer. But everybody performed really well. I know we keep saying like the show was really good, but they were just really dope shows. So after that, then Vince Staples performed, and if you know Vince, you know Vince. He did his thing. He had a cool set. I forget the name of I think it's the name of his new album.
Yeah.
That was on like a bus or whatever, but dope set. Really enjoyed it. And then probably the best performance to me came that night. I don't know if you had something else you wanted to add.
No, go ahead.
So I think I said on here, or it might have been us talking off mic, but I listened to Doja's album. And when it was up for some awards, I was like, get her out of here. She don't need to be beating Kanye or like some of the other people. And then I listened to the album. The album was dope to me. So I became a fan. So I was very interested to see, because she had just come off her like world tour event where she said, I'm quitting music because of whatever happened in South America. So at one point, we didn't know if she was even going to perform because good old Ye decided to drop out a beef for another day, an episode. But there were thoughts that she would potentially become the headliner to replace him. I have not seen her because she performed at that one music award, and I just saw a naked chick on the stage that I didn't really care much about. That doesn't woo me when you're performing. City Girls killed it, and so did Doja. I knew more songs than I think I expected to know, and I just thought she performed really, really well. She rapped, which I know there's been some contesting if she's a rapper, if she should be an R&B, if she's a pop act. I don't know what she is, but I know the girl's super daggone talented, and I was really impressed by her set, given what I expected coming in.
Her set was really, really, really good. But this was, for me, another case of not necessarily paying attention to all of the words and lyrics that people, put out there, because I'm listening to the songs and I was like, is that what she's been saying this whole time? There was a few that I was just like, okay, I am definitely not 20 something years old anymore, where I just think everything that people say is just it. But her set was really good. She did a great job performing. And I remember leaning over to Ray and saying, like, I can totally understand how amazing Beyonce was the year that she was here. Because just watching Doja's set, the way it was put together, and not to say that it hadn't been on display before. I think Doja was the first artist to really just come out and perform compared to some of the other people we saw. So it made me even more jealous of the people that got to see Beyonce at Coachella, because that was like, a thing.
No, I definitely can agree with that take, because there wasn't a lot of those kind of performers. Most of the singers just sang. They didn't really perform. So I think that's actually a great point that you made. And she performed. Like, I was really impressed by how she performed. And although Sunday was light, I think it ended really strong. You don't even got the main people on here. So we went to see Denzel Curry. He did what?
We didn't see all of Denzel Curry. We went to ride the Ferris wheel
and other things, but we did see some of his set from the Ferris wheel. We listened to it and saw it, and then we got back for go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I would say my surprise performance, because obviously huge Ye fan here. I've been a Ye fan. Ye helped me get my limited edition sweater because I've given him thousands of dollars on shoes for myself and for our kids have a pair, and she's got a bunch of pairs. So the weekend's Super Bowl performance did not leave a lot for me, but I've always been a fan of Swedish House. So I was like, I want to see it. And I was impressed. Like, the stage design, they started pretty late. Which I wasn't terribly upset about because my feet was hurting.
Yeah, we were just kicking it in the VIP lounge until their set started.
Yeah, just loving each other and being cool. And so then they performed, and the energy was good. The drops, the stage, the lights. Like, I was just really impressed by it. I enjoyed it. Most of the songs they did, I knew pretty well. And then they turned it over to Abel, and we turned out and got out of there, which I've heard his performance was good. I heard the crowd was not great, and we might have been some of those same people. So we left.
We didn't do anything. We just left. Like, again, so there was so much stuff to do, to see, all crammed into, 72 hours. And by the end of, midway through Swedish House Mafia's set, it was great. It was amazing.
It was packed.
But I was exhausted. And again, other contributing factors for me, at that point, I'm just like, could I stay out here for the rest of the night just vibing? Sure. I really just want to go back to my room and try and get some sleep so that I can prepare for myself to come back to dealing with my uncle passing away.
So she hit me with one of those. So after this song, we can probably go. You think something along those lines. And although I did want to stay to hear some of the weekend set, we dipped. Made the walk back. Got the locker exchange was smooth. Got the $10 back or whatever. And we got out. But to your point, even we found out that one of your guys had a jacket.
Oh, yeah. So they did collaborations. There were a lot of merchandise collaborations here. They did the cactus, what is it? The flea market.
Cactus plant flea market.
There you go. The Sean Witherspoon jackets, just there was another one I saw through 88 Rising.
The NFTs and things
like that. They did a lot of
StockX was there.
Stuff. And Demont Pender actually had a collaboration denim jacket there as part of the Give Black campaign that they're doing to, bring more awareness to Black businesses, Black-owned fashion lines. And I thought that was super dope. And it was crazy because when we went in there, I knew what was in there. We looked around, we saw what we saw, and we said, okay, we're going to check out some of the other merch, and we'll come back if we decide to get something from here.
We were looking for a bottle that was supposed to be reusable, that was a Coachella bottle. So we kept going to a bunch of different places saying, hey, do you have it? Do you have it? So that was our focus. And we went in, and I saw it was like, stuff's cool stuff. But my focus was the bottle, and we missed some stuff.
Yeah, and so we never went back in there. And then by the time we did go back, it was like everything was sold out. And I didn't think two thoughts of it because we had other stuff that we had already gotten. And then get back home on, I guess, Tuesday. And I'm scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through Instagram. And he's posted that it was his jacket. I'm just like, dang, if I had known that, I'd have bought the jacket. I've got a piece of his artwork somewhere. I think it's downstairs, actually. I've got a T-shirt of his. So I definitely would have invested in the jacket because it was really dope, but just never made it around back to it.
Yeah. They did have that ability also to customize your merch. And like sewing it on. You also didn't talk about the record store.
I didn't because and the record store was actually really cool. As an aspiring record collector, they had some really dope ones that I think that they saw. I saw a Bobby Brown record. I saw a Chuck Brown record. They had Good Kid, Mad City. Like there were quite a few. I didn't go stand there and go through a lot of the crates. I think I went through like 2 sections and was really impressed by the selection. And I do know that during the second weekend, it's like National Record Day, so they're supposed to be doing something cool then. But overall, it was more than what I probably could have imagined it would be. If we choose to go again, I'll definitely make some changes to what we did and how we did it. But overall, it was just an amazing experience for us. High level.
So I definitely echo that. I'm somebody that, like, I've traveled a ton. I've been a lot of different places. I've seen a lot of different things. And this would easily be top 3 for me. I went to Israel, which is top. Costa Rica, the zip lining I did there was probably one of the doper experiences I've had. I've skydived. I've swam with sharks. I've done a bunch of different stuff. But the feeling of the weekend and just all that it is, and I think I'm still kind of soaking in. That's why I'm still wearing it. She was like, "When are you going to cut it? Or how we cut it off?" I'm gonna wear this for a little bit. Like, it's just a reminder of what we got to experience. And I think for me, a lot of it is still settling in as I kind of revisit some of the stuff that we were able to do. Obviously, us being able to do it together, seeing so many people so quickly perform the songs that we've driven to and rapped and sang and played at various times. It was just a lot. And I really, really enjoyed it. I definitely will be looking to do more festivals. I've told her I think it's going to be hard to go to other festivals when you go to like the biggest festival in America, one of the biggest in the world and most famous. But it was just a really dope experience. And so I would highly suggest it. We'll see what happens when the early release tickets come out and how big of a discount they offer.
But even, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But even when we factor in how much we paid for our tickets, our hotel stay, the shuttle passes, like that's an average of what we spend. No, I won't say average. It equals to maybe 2 of our international trips.
Yeah. I would say roughly plan to spend about 10 grand on everything. If
we
you
didn't spend 10 grand.
I would say plan to spend about 10 grand. If you get, and again, we got the cheapest hotel and all that.
We did get the cheapest VIP option.
If you want closer VIP options, different hotels and all that, if you're going to go out and drink, and because we didn't drink, so if you're drinking at the festival,
you're right.
You're going to
spend like
you're going to spend a bunch of money, and we also got really cheap flights that may not be available for other people. So yes, it's a potentially, and I don't know your situation, but it can be a big expense. But I promise you, it's worth it.
Every penny.
Buy the lockers, pay for the upgrades and what you can get, but it's just worth it. And you will thank yourself. It's one of those things like sitting in first class, just do it once and it'll just change your mindset. Like it didn't even have a lot of the bigger names of people that I really listen to on a regular basis, but I still enjoyed myself so much. And we missed so much and we didn't get to do a good amount and we didn't really stop moving.
Yeah.
Like we didn't eat a whole lot. We drank, we would walk, refill our water bottles. The water refilling was free. They gave out a lot of free water at the medical tents. Like it was just a great time. And I don't know if the words will do it. I don't know if the pictures and videos we post for the next maybe week or two will do it justice because there's just so much content. That's part of why you're getting this now. It was just a lot to try and record there. Obviously service wasn't the best, but I just wanted to be in the moment. Like I didn't want to, rush through it. I wanted to embrace it. I don't even like outside like that. I was just sitting in the grass. I took
that was a thing for me to see because he does not like outside. He does not like to eat outside. If there's ever an option, he always picks to eat inside. So to sit and watch this man sit on the grass, no blanket, no nothing's down, and eat his food.
And I being that designer.
Be in the element and just watch him. Like for me, it was very entertaining. Like he stepped out on a limb. He got his little dangly earrings. He's wearing them right now. Like it was for us, I think, as a couple, an awesome experience because we just have had a year of. We've been super busy, and we're still super busy. We got back on Tuesday, and I had work to do for my clothing line. I had meetings for other stuff that are scheduled and set, and then now, obviously, I've got to plan for my uncle's memorial service, and it's just like we've been on the go. I think at minimum since I got pregnant last year. So this trip for us, it was just like time for us to reconnect and have fun and just relax and really just be kids, just enjoy being youthful and again, being able to walk around for 8 hours, 12 hours a day and just enjoy music together.
Yeah. So definitely a memory, lifelong, something that I don't believe I'll ever forget. And hopefully you get to experience the same thing. I know this episode was a little longer. We knew that going into it. We definitely cut down some stuff because I could definitely elaborate.
We could probably still keep going.
On just more stuff, even when we went out, like the Vagabond and other stuff that we got to experience.
There will be a video recap, I guess. I'm putting together just a bunch of the different stuff. Probably will come out Friday after I finish piecing everything together.
It's a lot. So if it don't come out Friday, give her some grace. She's obviously dealing with some stuff she shared here. And we got 4 kids. And one of them might have been spoiled off breastfeeding. So
they broke the baby. He won't take the boob.
So we got to figure that out. But no, man, it was just amazing. I hope we're communicating that well enough. We would definitely have a ton of more content coming from it because I took a bunch of pictures and videos, so y'all gonna see them. But yeah, just enjoy it with us. That's what the Bond Chronicles is all about. You guys going through this journey of life with us. We are so supportive of you guys. We thank you guys for supporting us in this. I know a joke about the giving or whatever. Like that's not nearly as important as just knowing that. I had people text me, so the episode coming out,
which was kind of crazy for me because we know people watch us, but we don't I don't really think about it. And so I think it was Sierra, she texted me, when is the episode coming out? I was just like, oh yeah, girl, we are tired and this is going on, but it's coming, I promise. So that's always, it's a cool feeling, actually.
Yeah. So thank you again. In life, things happen. You have the power to choose what you do. Choose wisely. Always bet on you. Get to Coachella at some point in your lifetime. If you love music at all, it is definitely worth it. And if you've been blessed by us, you can go ahead and bless us. Hopefully this episode has been fulfilling for you, entertaining for you, rewarding for you. We kept it light. We kept it fresh. Just for y'all. Enjoy. Give us feedback. Give us comments. We love to hear it. Have a good day.